Is there life on Mars? Has there ever been life on Mars? We may be close to finding the answers. Of all the worlds in the solar system, Mars has always attracted the most attention when it comes to the question of life elsewhere. This fascination goes back almost a century and a half to when the Italian astronomer Giovanni Schiaparelli described seeing thin lines crossing the planet's surface. He thought they contained water and called them canali, which is Italian for channels. This led to speculation, especially by the American businessman turned astronomer Percival Lowell, that Schiaparelli's canali might actually be canals built by intelligent Martians. The idea caught hold in the public mind and inspired writers such as H.G. Wells, whose novel The War of the Worlds conjured up frightening images of invaders from the Red Planet. Well, we don't believe in advanced Martians anymore, and most scientists never did, but the question of whether Mars has or ever had life of some sort still hangs in the balance. Today, the surface of Mars is drier than the driest deserts on Earth, colder on average than Antarctica, and bathed by harsh radiation from the sun. The Martian atmosphere, made up mostly of carbon dioxide, is very thin, and the surface soil contains toxic chemicals. But in the remote past, around 4 billion years ago, conditions on Mars were much more favourable to life as we know it. Surface temperatures were higher, although on average Mars has always been colder than Earth has ever been. The atmosphere was thicker, and Mars used to have a magnetic field which shielded its surface from harsh solar radiation. There were lakes and rivers in the southern hemisphere, and a shallow ocean may have covered the low-lying northern plains. Volcanic activity and large meteorite impacts, both of which were a lot more frequent when Mars was young, would have provided local sources of heat to power hydrothermal systems perhaps long enough for primitive life to develop. NASA's Curiosity rover, which has been exploring Gale crater on Mars since landing there in 2012, has found organic molecules in the soil as well as clay minerals. The evidence from Curiosity is that Gale crater contained an ancient freshwater lake that would have been hospitable to the kind of primitive microbial life found on Earth today. If life did get started on Mars long ago, might it still exist there today? On Earth we found life in the unlikeliest of places, in the driest of deserts, in highly acidic, boiling hot springs, at temperatures far below freezing, and even inside rocks a couple of kilometers below the surface. There's the possibility that microbial life may have retreated underground on Mars as the surface conditions deteriorated, and that it survives there still to this day. We're going to learn a lot more about the potential for Martian life, past and present, over the next few years, thanks to two advanced rovers, NASA's Perseverance and the European Space Agency's Rosalind Franklin rover. Perseverance, which landed safely in Jezero crater on February 18, 2021, carries 7 scientific instruments, 19 cameras, 2 microphones, and a miniature helicopter, which will attempt the first powered flight on another planet. The rover is equipped to look for microscopic fossils and organic substances in the rocks of Jezero crater, some of which formed from sediments laid down more than 3.7 billion years ago, when the crater was filled with water. Perseverance will also collect samples of soil and rock and store them in tubes, which future missions will collect and bring back to Earth. Europe's Rosalind Franklin rover is specifically focused on searching for signs of past and present life on Mars. It's scheduled for launch in September 2022 and to arrive at Mars the following June. It will be able to drill down to a depth of 2 meters and analyze samples using 9 science instruments that make up its Pasteur payload. If we find evidence of past or present life on Mars, it'll be one of the greatest scientific discoveries of all time. But if we find no such evidence, that also will be fascinating, because if both Mars and Earth had all the basic conditions and ingredients needed for life long ago, why did it develop here but not on Mars? Are there, or were there, Martians? We may be about to find out.